Welcome back to ABC 24 This Week. I am ABC 24's Richard Ransom. We're also joined by Otis Sanford, our political analyst, Sam Hardiman, a reporter for the Commercial Appeal, and Tawan Stout-Mitchell, a political consultant here in Memphis, and former city councilwoman, too. Yeah. So we always like to throw that in. You've had the thrill and terror of running for
the honor, sir.
You know what it's like. So the three Gs. We think is finally resolved. That's the short name for the three Germantown named schools, the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. And it's just been in a quandary ever since the suburbs split away and formed their own school districts. And for some 3,000 families involved, what a lot of people may not know if you don't live in Germantown is that most of the kids who go to those schools don't live in Germantown at all. And in fact, most are bused in from northern Cordova to go there. So the question has been, you know, you've got this Memphis Shelby County Schools owning and operating those three schools, but they're in a different school district. And so finally, after some state legislation was passed, some pressure of a January 1st deadline, in fact, we got a resolution. And that resolution that was spearheaded by County Mayor Lee Harris calls for the elementary and middle schools to belong to Germantown. That will be transferred to them, and the high school will be sold, and the proceeds from that will go to help pay for a brand new high school for Cordova. I think that's the shortened version of exactly what's going on. All right, so I guess I'll start with you, Tawan, on this. So how do you feel about this compromise and what it means for Lee Harris? It seems to me he really showed some leadership here and got the job done quickly. I can't remember a time since I've been in this community that 4 different elected bodies got anything passed in 1 week's time.
I think he really showed some leadership. I really do. But I also want to recognize the parents, students, and the board and the administration for the part they played. When they sent a survey to their parents and students about this situation and how it would impact them and got those results, it made the students and parents organize themselves into action, because they could have quietly moved forward and their issues would not have been addressed. I think that was great leadership on the mayor's part to find a solution and offer some funding. And I think it was great leadership on the school board's part by listening to their constituents and find out what they wanted, and allow them a platform to share that. Because there is no way you could cut the baby in half. You appeal to the students on this end of town and ignore the students on this end of the town. They had to find a way to serve all the children.
And the beauty of it, Otis, is that kids will be able to finish with their classmates. You're not going to be splitting up different classrooms, and hopefully not teachers either. It just really seemed to come together nicely. I know you are a big fan of how Mayor Harris handled this.
Oh, I am indeed on this one, Richard. Tawan is right about the parental involvement is really special. I agree with that. But it took political muscle to get it done in the end.
It did.
And I consider this to be the most impressive achievement that Lee Harris has had as an elected official. And I'm going back to the city council, I'm going to the state senate, and now in his second term as mayor. This is a crowning achievement for him. To get this done, as you say, we were talking about this just a week ago because we were trying to find out the details, and to have 4 bodies in 4 days this past week to sign off on this, everybody unanimous except for the county commission, and they were 8-5, and it was bipartisan in that. That shows some remarkable political leadership, and yes, I have to give Lee Harris a lot of credit there, in addition to the family members who were involved.
There was some division expressed by the county commission, though, when they took that vote. Commissioner Brittany Thornton for one, and then Commissioner Shantae Avant's reaction. Let's get those 2 sound bites.
It just feels like a standoff, that it's Cordova versus everybody. The fact that we're sitting here saying that we're okay with displacing black kids because they do not reside within our boundaries. If we allow only Cordova black students to prosper by the building of a new school, shame on us.
Me making a vote to support students makes me anti-black. It makes me pro-children.
So that was the controversy, is you have a brand new gleaming school that will be built for some African American kids, but not others who live in closer to the inner core, so to speak. Your thoughts, Tawan?
Well, I think this does not have to be the end of a story. It can be a chapter, because last year I think they did present a budget with many needs for children and their buildings. And the county commission needs to take a look at that proposal and make some affirmative action toward addressing some of it, which includes Frazier. This does not have to be the end of the story,
Okay.
but the beginning of another
So I
chapter.
haven't included you yet. This controversy may not be over yet. It's important to know.
Well, I think, for all the discussion and all the passage this week, all these votes, the bill hasn't been paid. In a sense, like, this high school still needs to be funded, and it's going to cost
They gotta find
$77
a
million.
location for it.
That's right.
You have to site plan, and then you also there's likely potentially the possibility that you would have to make corresponding appropriations in terms of bonds to the municipal school districts because of average daily attendance requirements in state law, which the commercial appeal covered. Laura Testino and Catherine Burgess did quite well this week. And furthermore, like, if you have to spend $77 million or what could be $98 million on municipal, with the municipals added in there, there's an opportunity cost of the other school buildings that could be built with that money, because the county does not have an unlimited amount of debt capacity here, and that's a big problem, with the amount of deferred maintenance that's in these schools and the age of a lot of these buildings. Is there's going to be some opportunity cost, and we haven't seen how it's going to be funded and how taxpayer dollars, because these are taxpayer dollars throughout really the city of Memphis, they're going to fund this.
Okay, well, I'm out of time, unfortunately, but we're going to be following this too, because the issue of schools and where we locate them and how we build them ongoing in this community, every community. That's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank my panel very much for being here, and thank you at home. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you next week for ABC 24 This Week.